complete and lacking nothing. April Sesshin, talk 4. So throughout a Sesshin, throughout all of Teisho, it is important that we attend to our direct experience, the feeling of breath and body. The feeling of tingling or of tension, the tension that is life itself. Often people come to Zen Buddhist practice and they've had some kind of insight, some kind of genuine investigation into the truth. Or, of course, many people here have also. But until this insight is embodied, until it is able to be lived with the body, it still is a mental understanding, often some of the realm. There is a delusion that we are all heir to. And the delusion is that there is somewhere else that is better. Some other time that is superior. And of course, it is in one sense true. There are situations and conditions that support life better than others. And we are all very fortunate not to be born in parts of Somalia, Rhodesia, Indonesia, Afghanistan, where there is so much violence. And of course, from that perspective, we are all blessed. And there's a teaching in some kinds of spiritual practices, perhaps even some kinds of Buddhism, that there is a heavenly realm that really is the superior place to be. In some kinds of Buddhism, they call it the Western paradise. Roshi says that in the days of when Buddhism was being developed, and India is hot and dry and kind of a miserable climate sometimes, in the evening when the sun is going down, there's the coolness of dusk begins to settle over the world. The feeling was that it was in the West, is where the heavenly realms were. In some traditions, there is a Western paradise where Amida Buddha presides, in a way, kind of like a Christian heaven. And in some religious traditions, the practitioners believe, pray, have faith, that they'll be taken from a place of suffering into a place of endless freedom from pain, of endless happiness. And it is a little unsure in my mind exactly how this happens, but many people feel very strongly that it does. And of course, this is a somewhat superficial understanding of religious traditions, or superficial understanding of Pure Land Buddhism is that there is a heavenly realm that Amida Buddha will take us to at some point. The traditional forms of Buddhism, of Pure Land Buddhism, teach not in the belief that there is somewhere else, but that we have to have faith. We have to have complete entrustment, complete and total faith, that even we, as foolish, defective human beings, are always in the arms of great compassion. And that may be beyond our limited understanding. That's a very different flavor than if I do the right thing, I'll go to heaven. Complete entrustment. And of course, the attitude that there is some other place where we are free of pain and suffering is one that we all have to one degree, because none of us want to suffer. And the notion that there is a heavenly realm, whether it be in this material world, or whether it be in some spiritual realm, is a part of Buddhist practice. And in a way, we all have been in such a realm. Often we've been in a realm of enormous pleasure, ease and peace. Sometimes when people first fall in love, or sometimes they have an exciting new job and everything's going well, they have a great travel experience, or they end up with a new location, a new life, a new hope. Or sometimes simply lying in bed, great ease, great comfort. And of course, the less stress and pressure we feel at those times, the more deeply we've entered that heavenly realm. But all things change. Not the truth, it's just the way things are. All things change. So even if we're lying in bed in a heavenly realm, completely comfortable, no stress, warm, we lie there for a minute and we have to pee. We get hungry. Somebody calls us. Or we end up in a new relationship, bright, fresh, new. All the problems seem completely almost unimportant. Of course, they'll be resolved. And then, of course, as time goes on, things change. Attitudes, opinions change. And things become more complicated. And what was pure pleasure, what was so exciting and open and hopeful, actually can become a burden. Can become a place of struggle. And then if we start feeling resentment and anger about that, that resentment and anger starts propelling us into a darker place. So we see that in when people have a pretty decent life, and that life is threatened in some way, they can get very enraged, become very angry. And it is the anger itself, the attacking mode, that actually undoes their life. So this thread of there's always something, someplace better, we're reminded of if we're not feeling well, or if things aren't going smoothly, that is according to our plans, or we hit a really dry, rocky period in practice and we start thinking, why am I doing this? There must be something better. And there usually is, for a short time. One of the reasons we are so work so hard to make and encourage people to complete a Sesshin is that there may be a lot of stress sometimes in a Sesshin, or we encounter some rocky place in ourselves. And of course, if people leave, there's a momentary sense of relief. Get more rest, eat what I want. But then, of course, the inner critic comes in, and then, of course, the self-doubt comes in, or resentment, or whatever. And what was relief just turns back into the same old model. And we see this all the time in all sorts of circumstances. This short-term sense of freedom, short-term sense of relief and pressure, we can become very addicted to, hoping that this time we've chanced upon the right combination of possibility and pleasure that will make things last. And so this potential, this short burst of pleasure, this potential for this burst of pleasure, this potential for maybe it all will work out this time, is the foundation for all kinds of addictions. Serial relationships, wandering from job to job, shopping, food, sex, drugs, and spiritual practice. It is the nature of spiritual practice is that everything flows through us. So of course, everything flows through us. So of course, we encounter times things are really, really hard. And that flows through us. And we may encounter times when things are really, really easy. And that flows through us. And we may encounter times that are really, really dry. And that flows through us. Or extremely blissful, or extremely bright, or extremely luminous. And that flows through us. Everything flows through us. And so the important thing is that as we practice and as we wake up more and more to this nature of things flowing through us, pleasure and pain, loss and gain, all the winds, we realize that they're flowing through our luminous mind. And the more we can appreciate that all of the changes that flow through our lives, the more we can see that they all are held in this great space of our life, the more we can appreciate the challenges, the joys and the sorrows of being a human being. Freedom in the Buddhist, certainly in the Zen Buddhist perspective, is found right in the flow of our life. It is not found in the Western paradise. It is not found in the perfect job, perfect relationship, perfect whatever. It is found in the flow of our life right where we stand. And it's not found in Asia in a monastery. It's not found at Great Vow, unless you happen to be at Great Vow. It's not found in Portland, unless you happen to be living in Portland. And wherever you stand, wherever you are, it is this flow of change that is so important. That is the richness of our life. That is the chant that we chant sometimes, liberation from all obstructions. To really choose whatever is right here, right now, knowing that it's only temporary. And so when we get caught by memories of previous experiences or fantasies of future experiences, we let them go with the breath. And as we let them go with the breath, that doesn't mean we have to do something special. There's some special act called, I will now let go, and I will now practice letting go. It means we let the breath completely exhale as far as it does. And then again, and again. And we stop grasping, we stop the obstacles to it. We let it go completely until it's all gone. This breath is, of course, found in the ground of our own being. And it is our connection, in a way, between the formless realms of insight, wisdom, and the human realms of functioning and compassion. And so